The sky god and the forbidden drum, an African myth of power, curiosity, and consequence. High above the earth, in the realm of the sky god, there was a drum. But not just any drum. This drum was unlike anything seen on earth. It could produce sounds that carried magic, sounds that could summon rains, bring crops to life, and even control the seasons. It was a powerful gift, but it was also forbidden. The sky god alone was allowed to play it. No mortal, no spirit, no creature was permitted to touch it. Yet, as humans are often curious, some wondered what it would be like to hear the drum for themselves. Stories spread among villages. Whispers of the drum's power traveled like wildfire. The humans who lived below the clouds dreamed of the impossible, controlling the elements, calling the rains, bending nature with the rhythm of a magical drum. One day, a bold and curious man could no longer resist. He climbed into the sky, braving dangers unknown, determined to find the drum and play it. The sky god watched silently, knowing that curiosity and greed often walk hand in hand. What followed was a test of courage, wit, and humility. The drum was magical. The moment he struck it, the world below shook. Clouds danced, winds twisted, and the earth trembled as if the heavens themselves had taken notice. But with great power comes great consequence. The humans who tried to take what was forbidden learned that some forces are not meant to be tamed. Some mysteries are guarded by the cosmos itself. In this story, we will follow the journey of the man, the trials of curiosity, and the wrath and wisdom of the sky god. We will witness how a single magical object could teach a lesson to all of humanity, a lesson about respect, humility, and the limits of human ambition. Stay with us as we unravel the story of the forbidden drum, its power, and the consequences of touching what should not be touched. The journey to the sky. The man had heard the stories, tales of a drum so powerful it could summon rains, control the winds, and even change the fate of entire villages. Curiosity burned in his heart. He knew the sky god had forbidden mortals from touching it, but the temptation was too great. He prepared for the journey. He left his village quietly, taking only what he could carry, and began the climb to the heavens. The path to the sky was not easy. Mountains rose like jagged teeth, rivers raged like wild beasts, and storms tested his resolve. Yet he pressed on. With each step, the air grew thinner, colder, and charged with energy. Birds that dared to fly near him were pushed back by unseen winds. The earth below seemed to shrink. The clouds became thicker, swirling with colors he had never seen. Finally, after days of climbing, he reached the edge of the mortal world. There, the sky opened like a door, revealing a realm of light and clouds that stretched beyond imagination. The sky god watched from above, silent, patient, waiting to see if the human would show wisdom or folly. The man's heart raced. One misstep could mean falling into the void. One false move could awaken the sky god's anger. But he pressed forward, drawn by the promise of the drum's power. Every step was a test, every gust of wind a warning, every flash of lightning a reminder that he was not meant to be here. And yet, human curiosity is relentless. It drives discovery, exploration, and sometimes disaster. As he neared the drum, he could see it floating above a pedestal of clouds. Its surface shimmered, glowing with colors he could not name. Its presence was both beautiful and terrifying. The drum seemed to hum, not with sound but with power, a vibration that traveled through his bones, whispering promises of power, control, and knowledge beyond imagination. But with that power came risk. The sky god's laws were clear: touch the drum without permission and the consequences would be dire. What would he do? Would he turn back, respecting the divine warning, or would curiosity and ambition drive him to strike the drum and change the world forever? The first strike of the drum. The man stood before the drum. Its surface shimmered, pulsating with light as if it had a heartbeat of its own. Every fiber of his being warned him to stop. The sky god's laws echoed in his mind. Do not touch, do not strike. But temptation was stronger than fear. He lifted his hands, fingers trembling, his heart raced. Then he struck the drum. The sound that erupted was unlike anything he had ever heard. It was not a sound that could be contained. It was not music. It was a a wave of energy that rolled across the clouds, down to the mountains, across the forests, and over the villages far below. Rivers shifted, trees bent, animals scattered, birds fell silent, even the wind seemed to pause, holding its breath. The man staggered, the drum's power surged through him, a mix of awe, terror, and exhilaration. Then came the first warning. A flash of light illuminated the heavens. The sky god appeared not in anger but in sorrow. "You were warned," the sky god said. "Power is not given to those who cannot respect it." But the man did not stop. He struck again and again. Each strike unleashed more chaos. Clouds twisted into spirals, thunder roared like 1,000 drums, lightning danced across the skies in patterns too precise, too deliberate to be natural. The world below trembled, crops swayed violently, rivers swelled. Villagers looked up, their eyes wide with fear and awe as the heavens themselves seemed to respond to the drum. In that moment, the man understood. The drum was not just an instrument, it was a force of creation and destruction, a power beyond human comprehension. And yet his ambition pushed him further. The sky god shook his head. The man's curiosity had unleashed forces that were never meant to be controlled. What happened next would change the course of human and cosmic history. The consequences of the drum. The moment the drum sounded, the world changed. The mountains trembled, rivers overflowed, winds tore through the forests like invisible beasts. The villages below were thrown into chaos. People ran in fear, looking up at the sky as the clouds twisted and shimmered with unnatural colors. The man realized too late that the drum was not a toy. It was not a tool for human desire. It was a force of the heavens. Each strike of the drum sent ripples through nature itself. Rain poured where there had been none. Fires ignited from lightning that danced across the mountains. Animals fled, sensing the cosmic disturbance. The sky god appeared once more, his voice booming across the storm. "You sought what was forbidden, you wielded power without wisdom, now you must face the consequences." The man tried to stop, he wanted to undo what he had done. But the drum's magic had a will of its own, it would not be silenced by fear or regret. The clouds closed around him, lightning struck, circling him like a cage. The drum pulsed, vibrating with energy that threatened to tear the heavens apart. And then it happened. The drum, sensing the arrogance of human ambition, shattered. Its magical sound exploded outward, sending a wave of energy across the sky. The man was thrown back, tumbling through clouds and wind. When the storm finally calmed, the drum was gone. Its pieces scattered across the sky and earth, each shard carrying a fragment of its power. The humans who had dared to climb toward the drum returned to their villages forever changed. They carried the story of the forbidden drum, of the power it held, and of the consequences of touching what was never meant to be touched. And thus, the sky god's warning was passed down through generations. Some forces are not for humans. Curiosity must be tempered with respect. Ambition without wisdom brings chaos. Yet fragments of the drum remained in the world. Some say the echoes of its sound can still be heard in storms, in thunder, and in the rhythm of life itself. The drum becomes legend. After the storm passed and the fragments of the drum were scattered, the story spread across the lands. Villagers spoke in whispers about the man who dared to climb to the sky, about the magical drum that shook the heavens, about the power that no mortal could control. The tale became a warning. It taught respect for the forces beyond human understanding. It reminded people that curiosity, while noble, must be guided by wisdom. That ambition, when unchecked, could bring disaster. And yet the story also inspired wonder. Some believed the drum's magic lingered in the world, that the shards scattered by the sky god still held power, that thunderstorms, lightning, and the rhythms of rain were echoes of its song. Children listened wide-eyed as elders told the tale. Hunters and farmers paused during storms, recalling the power of the forbidden drum. The story became part of the rhythm of daily life, a legend passed down through generations. Artists, storytellers, and musicians took inspiration from the tale. They recreated the drum's magic through music, dance, and stories, keeping the memory alive. In a sense, the drum never truly disappeared. its echoes remained embedded in culture, in nature, and in the imagination of those who dared to wonder. The legend reminds us that some things are more than objects. They are tests, they are lessons, they are reminders of forces far greater than ourselves. Even today, the story of the sky god and the magic drum continues to captivate. It is a tale of ambition, curiosity, consequence, and the delicate balance between humans and the divine. And like all great legends, it carries a universal message. Respect power, temper curiosity with wisdom, and understand that some mysteries are beyond human control. The fragments and their echoes. Long after the storm had passed, the world remembered the drum. The fragments scattered across mountains, rivers, forests, and skies. Each piece carried a trace of the sky god's power. Some say that during storms, when lightning danced across the clouds and thunder rolled like a drum, it was the fragments speaking, whispering reminders of what had happened long ago. Farmers noticed that certain rains were heavier, more nourishing. Hunters spoke of winds that guided their path. Villagers claimed that storms sometimes followed patterns, rhythms, as if echoing a song from the heavens. The drum had become part of the world itself. Its magic was subtle, hidden, but undeniably present. And the lesson endured. The man who struck the drum returned to the mortal world forever changed. He carried knowledge of what happened, and he spread the story carefully, teaching that curiosity and ambition could be gifts, but only when guided by respect and wisdom. Over generations, the tale grew, each retelling added depth. Some described the fragments as glowing stones scattered across rivers waiting to be discovered. Others spoke of echoes in the wind, faint rhythms in the beating of hearts, reminders of a force greater than humans could fully understand. Even today, some believe that the drum's fragments still influence the world, that the rhythm of storms, the timing of rains, and the song of the wind are the whispers of a magical force, a reminder of ambition, power, and consequence. The legend bridges the mortal and divine. It connects humans to the cosmos, teaching lessons that transcend time. It reminds us that curiosity is noble, but respect for what is greater is essential. Lessons of the drum. The story of the sky god and the magic drum is more than a tale of power and ambition. It is a story of curiosity and consequence, a warning that some forces are beyond human control. The man who struck the drum represents us all, the desire to explore, to understand, to reach higher. Curiosity drives discovery, inspires innovation, and shapes civilizations. But ambition without wisdom can be dangerous. The drum's power was a test, a reminder that every action has consequences. Every choice carries weight, especially when it touches forces greater than ourselves. Across generations, the tale has taught lessons that remain relevant today. Respect for nature, for the forces we cannot see, and for the limits of our own understanding. It reminds us to approach the unknown with caution, humility, and reverence. The fragments of the drum that remain in the world symbolize the echoes of wisdom. Even when power is gone, its lessons linger. Even when mistakes are made, the story reminds us to learn, to grow, and to respect the boundaries set by forces beyond comprehension. And yet, the story also celebrates human curiosity. Without it, we would not explore, innovate, or seek knowledge. The man's journey, though dangerous, opened a path to understanding and wonder. The tale teaches balance, curiosity tempered with wisdom, ambition guided by respect, and the courage to learn from mistakes. The drum in culture. The story of the sky god and the magic drum did not end with the man's journey. It lived on. It lived on in the songs of villagers, in the dances of communities, and in the art that adorned homes and sacred spaces. Musicians recreated the drum's rhythms with ordinary instruments, trying to capture the power and wonder of the original magic drum. The beats told stories of ambition, caution, and the consequences of curiosity. Storytellers carried the legend across generations, adding details, expanding the drama, and keeping the suspense alive. Children listened wide-eyed, imagining storms that were alive, clouds that whispered, and the sky god watching from above. In festivals, the tale inspired performances. People danced to drum beats, reenacting the man's daring journey and the chaos he unleashed. The story became more than a lesson, it became a celebration of human imagination and the power of storytelling. Even today, the echoes of the drum appear in proverbs, in sayings about ambition and respect. In music that tells of courage and consequence, the legend bridges the past and the present, reminding us that stories are alive and that lessons from long ago still shape our lives. And the drum itself, though broken, became a symbol of connection. Connection between humans and the divine, between curiosity and wisdom, between power and responsibility. The sky god's magic continues to resonate in culture, teaching that even in our modern world, the lessons of the past remain vital. Curiosity drives innovation, but respect and humility guide it. Ambition sparks discovery, but wisdom ensures it does not destroy. In the next scene, we will explore the moral reflection and cosmic significance of the drum, bringing the story full circle and showing why it remains a timeless tale for all generations. Because the magic drum is more than a story, it is a living echo of human courage, divine power, and the enduring wisdom that shapes us all. The story of the sky god and the magic drum is not just a tale from the past. It is a reflection on human nature, ambition, and the delicate balance between curiosity and respect. The drum teaches that every action has consequences, especially when we tamper with forces beyond our understanding. The man's journey to the heavens shows the courage and curiosity inherent in all humans. It reminds us that seeking knowledge is noble, but the pursuit must be guided by wisdom. The chaos that followed his strike shows the cost of ambition without humility. Power, when misused, can bring destruction not only to oneself but to the world around us. And yet, the fragments of the drum scattered across the earth are a reminder that even in mistakes there is learning. Even in failure there is guidance. The echoes of the drum teach future generations to respect the unknown and to approach life's mysteries with reverence. This story bridges the human and the divine, the mortal and the cosmic. It shows that the lessons of old are not just stories, they are truths about life, power, and the responsibility that comes with curiosity. In every storm, in every rhythmic thunder, in every pattern of wind and rain, the drum's legacy endures. It reminds us that the universe is vast and powerful and that humans are both small and extraordinary within it. The legend encourages us to dream, to explore, and to push boundaries, but also to pause, reflect, and respect the forces we encounter. The magic drum of the sky god is gone, shattered into fragments, yet its story lives on. It lives in the songs, the dances, the art, and the stories passed down through generations. It lives in the storms, the rhythm of rain, and the whisper of the wind. It teaches us that curiosity is a spark that drives discovery, that ambition can take us to incredible heights, that knowledge and power carry responsibility. The legend reminds us to approach life with humility, to respect the unknown, and to honor the forces greater than ourselves. Even centuries later, the tale continues to inspire, caution, and captivate. It reminds us that stories are more than entertainment. They are lessons, guiding us through the complexities of life. The sky god's drum, though broken, echoes through time, teaching that wisdom and respect must walk hand in hand with curiosity and courage. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the sky god and the magic drum, make sure you like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more breathtaking explorations of African folktales and timeless legends. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story that blends mystery, magic, and wisdom from the past.